Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Justin and this is our Overland adventure. This is part 3 of the Jeep JK build for Overkill. If you've watched the series up to this point, basically what you get is Dynatrac XD60 axles, front and rear, KMC tank beadlocks, 40-inch Mickey Thompsons, all the rocker armor, front and rear bumpers, which the bumper's not on right now because I'm in the middle of working on the LS. We had the snorkel, like all of that stuff was done. Phase 3 is mostly superficial type stuff. So the biggest difference is the wrap. I didn't film all of it. It was a pain to do by myself, and trying to fiddle with a camera, it was very difficult. I filmed some of it, you'll see that, but I wanted to kind of talk you guys through the pieces that really were a struggle. I made a mistake of doing the hood first, and the hood is one of the hardest pieces to do because of all the compound angles. You look at it and you think, oh, this is flat, this is going to be easy. And parts of it are, but as soon as you get into these places where you have compound angles on the front and around the latches, it was really difficult because it would introduce wrinkles and you'd try to work them out and you'd create other wrinkles. I did the best I could, but it would have been better if I had left that for the last, because I would have gained some experience from doing the easy stuff like the doors, the side panels. This trim piece was super easy. The rear corners, which you can't see it because I've got the rocker panels on now, but those were a lot easier. It is far from perfect. I've got some wrinkles and tears through here, and I had some paint that matched this, but it looks like it fades over time. I just bought some nail polish that matched it really well to kind of hide some of that, and that worked well for a while, but it looks like it fades and turns blue. So up close you can definitely see the issues with the wrap, but this isn't a show vehicle. I use it, I abuse it, it gets scratched, it gets dirty, so I wasn't really concerned about minor imperfections. At some point I will probably paint it, or pay someone to paint it, but that's probably a few years down the road. I love the purple with the black. Originally I thought I was going to do black and then send off all the body armor to get powder coated purple. Next time around I may do that. I'm not sure. We'll see where we land. I just pulled off front and rear fenders, rock sliders, and the skin for both sides, and it sucked. But I pulled it all off so that I could wrap the doors. But yeah, having to pull body bolts and like 400 riv nuts. It took me like 3 hours, but this is what it looks like without any fenders. I don't know if you've ever taken yours off completely, but that's what she looks like. Does look sick without fenders, that's for sure. Yeah, I got both sides to do, and then some black paint to do along the bottom to kind of make things disappear. But and I decided to just paint the front grille black just to be done with it. I still got the windshield, and then everything on the sides, and then these little corners. I'm gonna save these for last. When the tire carrier and corner guards get here, so I'm gonna tackle this tomorrow, both front fenders, and then like try to start working my way back to that same, and then get everything put back on it. But yeah, there was a lot of effort to strip it down. So stripping it down to just the naked body. The front and rear fenders were fairly easy to remove, but these right here, it's just 2 body bolts under the bottom, the body mount bolts. But all these riv nuts, like if you don't use really an absurd amount of I'll think of it. Little gray can. Words are hard sometimes. But if you don't use just an insane amount of that on each one of these, they do stick and they become very difficult. And then the other piece is if you don't paint, like when you drill your body and you put these riv nuts in, if you don't paint where you drilled on the body, that's going to rust, it's going to corrode, and then your riv nuts are going to loosen up over time. So what I found that works is, one, drill your holes, drill them as tight as you can, paint them, and then when you insert your riv nut, I like to put a little bit of red Loctite on there, and that has helped a ton. If you don't do that, you're going to struggle. And so that was a really hard part as far as the wrap is concerned. This looks pretty good. I still have the front 2 doors to do, but I ran out of vinyl. But yeah, it's not bad at all. The crusher corners and the rear tire carrier haven't shown up yet, but as soon as they do, from here back down into here, and then to this panel, and the same thing on this side. This panel here up to about here will be black, and then the tire carrier will come out to about here. Still need to, I'll either order another one of these in black or paint it, and then I got the hinges to paint black, including the hood. That's pretty much it. Oh no, I gotta do my inner fenders in black. So I've got painting to do, front doors to do, and the tire carrier to do. And then I may redo the hood. It looks like there's wrinkles. I don't know if I'll be able to fix it or not. I may have to redo it later, but we'll see. The hood's the worst of it. And then I guess there's wrinkles here too, but it's good enough. She's gonna get abused. But yeah, she looks pretty good. All right, so I have broken down the lights, the gas tank, gotten this thing stripped down and ready for fenders. I've kind of test fit them, and I just put the first coat of black on them. I gotta flip them, let it cure for a little bit. But the goal is to get this stuff painted and cured and ready so that tomorrow I can get them fit up, get the holes drilled, get the nut certs installed, get it put back together. And then once that's done, I'll get this painted, let it dry, paint it again, do all that good stuff, and then get that installed. But the focus is to get this done first and just get the corner armor on. Like I said, I already test fitted it up there. It fits. I don't have to trim, and that was a concern of mine because I'm not running EVO fenders. I'm running Poison Spider fenders, and I'm not running a stock tailgate hinge. I'm running the big beefy one because I was running my tire on it. Yeah, the cutouts are plenty big, lots of room, fits right up there just fine. So, like I said, I'll get it all painted, get it dried, cured, feel good about it, move this stuff out of the way, back the Jeep in here, and start getting it ratchet strapped and clamped into place, and start making some cuts. All right, it's the next morning. I've got this one all lined up. There's a nice, good, consistent seam there. It's centered on the hole for the gas fill. Got it strapped in 2 places, clamped in 1. Got a nice, consistent line here. It looks pretty good there. So, next step is to, I'm just gonna leave it in place, and I'm gonna drill the holes here. We'll go from there. We're here at the rear. I mentioned in, I think, the first and maybe even the second build video that I've gone through a lot of tire carrier configurations and rear bumper configurations, trying to get the best of everything, meaning a nice tucked up, tight bumper that also had a receiver hitch, and then a tire carrier that can support the weight, that is easy to open and is just like bulletproof if you drag it on a trail. And so it took me a while to get here because I felt like this design, while it is the strongest, the beefiest, and like the best from like hardcore wheeling perspective, my concern was the latches and not being able to quickly open the tailgate. But it's really not bad. It's 2 pins. Once you get them dialed, it's actually pretty easy. I think I actually have room to open this. I do. One of the things that annoyed me is you buy this big tire carrier to carry a huge tire, right? You're doing it because you've got a 40 or a 42, right? A super heavy tire. Nobody's running 40s and 42s with stock axles. If they are, they don't do it for long. And so if you're upgrading your axles to 60s, the bolt pattern changes. And it wasn't a big deal. It just didn't make sense to me that when they shipped this, they had already welded in the studs and it was in stock configuration. Like, if you're gonna go to the trouble as a manufacturer to drill out all the possible lug combinations and include lugs, why weld them in? It's a waste of your time and it's a waste of our time. So that, it was a nuisance. Again, no big deal. Grind them out, clean it up, weld them into the right ones. But yeah, just, again, a nuisance. It's not on here right now, but I actually have my plate that usually bolts through these holes. And then I also have KC Lights chase light that I had installed in the same spot. It basically goes from here to here. I'll show you some pictures. And then I ran the wires into here. I haven't put it back on yet because I gutted all the electrical for the LS swap, and I'm in the middle of the LS swap, so that's why it's not in the video. But while we're here, one of the things that I'm gonna change is the location of this control board. I think you guys can see it right here. I've got it tucked in right here, which the board is fine, but as soon as you go to put the harness on, you got wires everywhere. It's just not clean the way that I want it to be. So I will probably move it up higher and probably build like an aluminum box to hide it so that people don't see it and it's kind of protected from gear. So I'll be doing that at some point. And then one of the other big changes, again, these aren't connected right now, but when you do the new corner armor, which I absolutely love. So let's talk about the corner armor. Getting these installed was a pain, again, because of riv nuts. You know, you do everything you can to get this clamped into position and held while you're drilling out your holes for your riv nuts, and you get your riv nuts installed, and then you go to put this back on, and it's all you can do to get these in without stripping them. It just takes so much force to push it back into place. I honestly don't know what I could have done differently. Another thing is, in the back, the normal light hole is up here, right? And so you have to cut out a big hole here. And then by the time you cut out this hole and you drill holes for all of these bolts and the riv nuts, this whole corner is Swiss cheese. There's just, it's gone. Like, you definitely do not want to put on corner protection like this if you ever anticipate taking it back off, because if you do, there is a ton of body work you're gonna have to do. Having this protection here protects your lights. You're not gonna crush your lights here because these are pushing away. And this actually, I had an incident, everybody on the trail basically had this incident of, it was a steep V-notch, it was wet, you slide into the wall, and you try to use your tires and your body armor to, you know, push you off, but the vehicle in front of me ended up crunching the side of their hardtop. But me, I rode right on these and didn't get a scratch on anything, and then just flat black spray paint, touch it up, and you know, it's good as new. So I absolutely love having this armor. So if I were to wrap this again, what would I do differently? Number one, I would make sure I had help. Having an extra set of hands, it would have made a world of difference. So that's number one, have help. Number two, I would have had it professionally detailed before I wrapped it. I tried to get it as clean as I could, but I'm telling you, if you miss even a speck of dirt, it is obvious, and you end up with what looks like a pinhole, and then you've got to work it out or tear that piece off and do it again. That gets expensive, and it causes issues like what I'm having, where I have pinholes that are starting to separate and bubble up. So number two, have it detailed, super, super clean, every nook and cranny, places that you never would have thought, make sure you get it cleaned. And then number three, I probably would have used 10 times more of the adhesion promoter. So you can get little vials that are like seam seal promoter. I did not have very good luck with that. It just didn't, it seemed to work at first, but pretty much all of my seams have peeled. And had I done, like, I know they make some spray cans that are almost like a spray adhesive, but they're a promoter for vinyl. I think had I used that, it would have come out much better. And then number four, the last thing that I would have done differently is I would have planned my seams better. So like door jambs, one of the things that I don't like is that my doors are still silver. And so like as soon as you open the door, you can see that this is a silver vehicle and not purple. That's one of the things that frustrates me. And ultimately that's probably why I'll end up paying someone to paint it for me, is we'll do a full kind of peel the harness, or sorry, peel the vinyl, clean the whole thing up, fully disassemble, kind of Robbie Layton style, and do it right, paint it. And again, it was one of those things where I wanted to get it purple, I wanted to get it done because I really don't like the look of a silver Jeep. But I didn't want to invest the money in painting it first because I'm gonna do a blue pillar top and I'm gonna do half doors. just as soon as the cage is in. So next year, you know, we're talking about build phase 3 right now, which was mostly superficial and a little bit of functionality. Well, phase 4 is the full rebuild, right? It's all performance. It's getting the LS in, the transmission, transfer case, twin sticks, you know, like moving the fuel, doing dual exhaust, like all of that to make it perform on and off the trail the way I want it to. That's all phase 4. Where you've seen some of that footage already, and there will be more coming. But phase 5 will probably be next year, and it will really be, it'll be, let's do the chop, let's do the roll cage, let's do PRP seats, and just really make it look custom, be custom. All right, that's what you want when you spend this kind of money on a Jeep. If you've made it this far into the video, I appreciate it. We just hit 300 subscribers, and we're not even a month into this. This is only really my 3rd week. I never would have imagined I would have made it that fast to that number. We've still got a long way to go. We're pushing for 1,000 subscribers. By the end of November is what I'd like to see. So do me a favor, share this with your friends, like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. I want to hear it. I want to get better. With each video, I'm trying to learn new tips and tricks for editing to make my content look better. Obviously my content is becoming more recent, and so you're seeing more FaceTime with me. So hopefully I don't scare you off with my ugly mug. But again, I really appreciate it. So thanks for watching.